the next case, we're gonna use move with nearby elements in arc shape elements. Okay, I just create a similar out of this element and then I positioned it parallel with the arc. Watch this. Then if I change the position of the arc shaped wall, you see that it got no effect on the element or the component actually because they can't be paralleled to each other or with each other. Okay, they are slanted. And in the next case, if I move the cursor or the element along the arc, then I right click, snap over right, snap center. Watch this. In order to enable the center of the circle or the arc by this way, then I place it, and as you can see, we got a limitness in arcs. I select and then I enable move with nearby elements. But right now we can change them both with each other, as you can see, with a fixed radius for thousands by this way. Great, and even I can move the model line with the arc, which is parallel with the line. So we got some exceptions. This was about move with nearby elements, which is helpful. Here we got image that we can attach a file path, link, URL, or whatever you want. Here as you can see, we got a simple appearance for this furniture that we can attach an image to show or present it. For instance, I can search for sofa library room in Google. Then I download an image to attach it to our component. For instance, let me see. I know it does not matter, I just want to tell you how to attach an image to your component. By this way. Suppose that you are modeling a specific chair or sofa for a company that you can download the image and then attach it. I save this image as, then I can choose a file path, E, and Revit Architectural 2024 component files. Anyway, the file type is not okay for me. I use print screen since we need JPG. Then I paste it here in Paint. I save it as by this way in component files, sofa. Afterwards, I can select these chairs and then attaching these image. Watch this. Like this way. Then I click on OK. Then you can see these images in the scheduled tables. Or if I select it and then click on the image, you can check the image of the furniture. Or the next we got command, we got mark, which was a unique value. If I specify F1, the next one will be F2, the next F3. You'll see elements have duplicated mark values because the mark is going to be unique. So as I mentioned before, the specified value for mark should be specific and unique for each of the elements. And here in edit type, we got different properties based on the components. Actually, in the new version of Revit, you got visual style, as I mentioned before, that you can enable different types of visual styles, hidden lines, texture, shaded, wireframe, realistic, you know, to just check them out. I set it to texture to check the material. Then I can, for example, the material is leather. I want to change it. I search for the dark brown leather. Apply. This is the result. Then you can check the texture. And you don't have to click on OK, enable the texture or realistic visual style in the project. It is hard for your device to process the visual style and it takes more time. But here we can check them out in the preview. And we got the frame material as well. For example, we specify a steel used in the appearance, apply, and then we can check the result in the preview. And also depth, height, and width that I can change it. Watch this. And also width that you can modify them if you want. Hidden lines. Watch the height, the width, and the depth. And the others are repeated before. Keynote, model, manufacturer, assembly code, description, URL, image, type mark, and so on. Then finally I click on OK, and the component here is being displayed by this way. Realistic visual style. To check it out, here as you can see, this file size is low and we can easily check them in the realistic visual style. I copy the name of the material, then I can assign it to this. No, I want to specify the same material to both, like this way. And I want to tell you a point for about this part, that sometimes when you load a family or a component like this, but here if I click on component, then here the last selected component is displayed for us. For example, here if I want to use this dining table, I have to open the type selector and then find it from the list. But some of you might ignore this and click on load family again and load it again. Note that this element is loaded before, but if I click to load it again, you'll see we got no changes in the preview since this element has been loaded before. And when we reload the element, still we got the last selected element in the type selector. So if you want to get access to that element, the loaded element, you have to find it in the type selector or just search for it. Or from project browser, you can search for the keywords in the search box, and then after finding it, you can add it to the scene. For example, m-table, or here I have searched for 21 and I want to use click and drag for adding the elements. Watch this. Here we cannot use click and drag and drop the categories, but we can drop the subcategories.